Yo, yo, yo. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but this is ridiculous, man. Am I here? Freedom Marchers, Freedom Lovers, Freedom Fighters, how y'all doing? This is going to be a quick live. I just want to go over real quick. Death, right? The murder of Tyre Nicols. Body cam footage I saw, the other camera, the whatever. When you have multiple people, never mind if they're a fucking police officer or not. Never mind that. We're talking about human beings. If you have 5 human beings chasing you down, shooting you with tasers, spraying you with pepper spray, beating you, all this type of shit, you typically are not going to just lay there and lay still. It's natural for a human being to defend themselves from strikes to their body, strikes to their head. That's just the bottom line to it. Now, what he was pulled over for in the first place, who knows? Probably some bullshit routine stop that turned into some bullshit. Maybe he had an attitude, maybe he didn't. You know what I'm saying? That's irrelevant. It's irrelevant if Tyre Nicols had an attitude with the police officer. You know why? Because he is a free individual, right? He is a free individual roaming around in the world, right? He's roaming the streets, he's driving around. He is a free individual. The pigs are supposed to be professional, right? They're not supposed to fly off the handle when somebody gets an attitude. They're not supposed to pull people out of their fucking vehicles. And that's the crazy thing that I saw. What cost did you have to pull that man out of his vehicle, right? And look, this is beyond color. All right, this has nothing to do with color. This has to do with how one human being or how several human beings treated another human being. But because they have these badges and these uniforms and these orders and all this type of shit, just because they're sanctioned by the state, people believe that these pigs have some type of superpower, like they aren't human beings, like they aren't one of us, like they're superhuman, like they deserve any type of respect, any type of motherfucking reverence. Police officers don't deserve any form of reverence, any form of heroic ideation. They're not fucking heroes. 9 times out of 10, police officers are not heroes. And even if they do something heroic once every blue moon, well, every blue moon, if they do something heroic, it's probably been canceled out by all the horrible things they've done out there on the road, out there while they're harassing people, extorting people, pushing their weight around, you know what I'm saying? All this type of shit. A broken clock is right twice a day, right? Okay, so maybe they've done something. Maybe they saved the cat from a fucking tree. Who knows? Maybe they helped an old lady cross the road. Wait a minute, they don't do that anymore. They just stay in their fucking vehicles and ride around looking for motherfuckers to extort. Anyway, now when it comes to Brandon Tatum, we all know that Brandon Tatum, the Officer Tatum, whatever he wants to call himself, we know that he's a bad shiner, right? We know that. We know he's going to shine the badges of any police officer ever in the world. And I watched the video before he went over the body cam footage and all that stuff, where surprisingly he admitted that the certain officers should be arrested. But he also said some very contradictory things in that video. But I'm going to talk about one thing in particular he said in the prior video, where he said police aren't the problem, the people are the problem. Now, Anthony Brian Logan has said something very similar to that years ago. He said the same thing. He said police aren't the problem, the people are the problem. What does that even mean? All right, see, this is what I'm saying. When you pedestalize any person or any group of individuals, this is where you get the problems, right? What are police officers if not people? The problem is not the police. The problem is the people. As though police officers aren't people. As though they aren't prone to mistakes, prone to the human condition, prone to their emotions, prone to anger, prone to this, prone to that. Police officers are fucking people. And we have to get it out of our heads, especially you statists, bad shiners. You have to get out of your head that police officers are any better than anybody else out there in the world. They just so happen to be trained by an institution that, you know, who trains them in a questionable manner, right? You know, all these levels of force and all this, that, and the third. When really what it should be is mind your fucking business until you see a crime being committed. That's really what it should be, right? Mind your business until there is a crime, until you actually visualize and see a crime in process. Mind your fucking business. Mind your business if you see a crime in progress, until you see a crime in progress. Mind your business until you're called upon by a victim, an actual victim, who has a criminal for you to catch. Or for you, whatever the case may be. Whether you have to get a report, just all that type of shit, yeah, go ahead and get involved and do your thing as you are supposed to, answering to the people, not to the motherfucking mayor, not to the motherfucking municipality. That's where we get things fucked up. We put too much power in the hands of these chiefs and these mayors and these motherfucking sheriffs and all these different people that, you know, we have given up way too much power, you know, and a lot of that is on us. Much of that is on us. We have to do better. But Brandon Tatum said that, and he said a lot of off-the-wall things during his YouTube career, including that as a police officer, if a 90-year-old woman calls in a burglary, you have to be prepared to kill that 90-year-old woman. He said some off-the-wall shit. This is just one of many off-the-wall things he said, and I don't understand how people still hold him up and treat him as though he knows anything about morality, anything about freedom, and he preaches his freedom shit and all this, that, and the third. And at the end of the day, he's a statist and a bad shiner. He will place the police above anybody. And he also, I know he understands, you know, he calls himself like going against the elite machine and all this other shit. But who controls what the police can and can't do? Who is in control of the police departments? Who funds the police departments? We fund the police departments, but who does the budget go through? Like, who hands out the money? Like, who is the middleman? You understand? If you have a problem with Nancy Pelosi, if you have a problem with all these Democrats in these Democrat cities, then you have to have a problem with the police, because the police is part of that structure, that government structure that conservatives supposedly have so little. They want so little of this centralized government, but they raise the police so high. Like the police, I don't understand this fascination and this. I don't understand it with the police. You know, I can see if the police actually did good things. They don't, right? Or if they do good things, it's completely overshadowed and overwhelmed by all the horrible shit they do. I don't understand how you can call yourself someone who wants freedom and who is all about minimal government. You know, you don't want the government involved in your lives. The only way that the government could be involved in your lives is if there are jackbooted police officers on the streets to intimidate, harass, harm, all that shit. And the funniest thing is, he also did a video getting on Colin Kaepernick for a docuseries about corrupt policing in America, right? He's so caught up in lambasting Colin Kaepernick just for even putting out the docuseries and taking a knee and all that shit. He completely overlooked the fact that there are multiple former police officers in this docuseries that were talking about how corrupt they were and how corrupt the system is and how the shit is fucking out of control. He actually did that. And then he showed the police officers actually talking about how they were doing this, doing it. We're not talking about low-level police officers. We're talking about high-level police chiefs, like brass, police brass. You got police brass sitting up here talking about, yo, we was corrupt in a motherfucker. I was taking money for drugs. One police officer, this police crew, they were taking drugs and, reselling the drugs and all. And you're sitting up here, the only thing you got to was taking it, and he's putting out this goddamn docuseries. And you sit up here exposing at the same time how corrupt policing is in the United States. You know why it's so corrupt? Because police departments, all sheriff's departments, they're made up of human beings. Okay? Police officers aren't anointed with fairy dust that makes them benevolent and morally high grounded. That's not what happens. You got all kind of manner of motherfuckers that will become police officers. They might even get a psych evaluation in some of these departments, but guess what? People can fake that. Anyway, I'm gonna read a couple comments and I'm gonna get out of here. Marcy says, all clown show. Agreed. Sunshine in the building. Marcy in the building. 22 Ronins in the building. It is insane to ask for just from from those that have committed the most horrific acts against our people. Absolutely. Anarchy Television in the building. There are no good cops. If there were good cops, there would be no bad cops, or there would be a very small amount of bad cops. And when those bad cops did bad shit, they will get rooted out and dealt with immediately if there were good cops. Sunshine says, also have been noticing actors with the fake dry tears, wiping tears that are not there. Yeah, it's all fake. Marsh T says, amen, in government now. I agree. Abolish qualified immunity for all government employees. I agree with that as well. The only viral pandemic of domestic terrorists are those sovereign citizens claiming to be public servants. Yeah. Sheriff is the highest badge in county. Sunshine says, my father knew PD was breaking into homes, then blaming the color. I mean, but you can't say none of this. I mean, there's documented evidence of that all over the place. There's documented evidence of police corruption. There's documented evidence of racist motherfuckers being in the police departments. Listen, it is what it is. But I got to get out of here. I got to get up to my family. They came to visit me from South Carolina, so I get in as much time as I can with them. I'm going home this weekend for my birthday. I'll be 43 on Saturday. And I'll be going back home for a little bit. So, yeah. It's 1984. 2 + 2 = 5 now. Absolutely. Especially if you use Common Core math, right? Anyway, much love, guys. Like, share, subscribe. And, I'll be traveling back to South Carolina on Friday, so I'll probably hit you guys up then with another live stream. Unless something happens between now and then, I can do a quick live stream. But anyway, love you guys. Holla at y'all.